Hi, it's Brenda Wood, and I have another edition of Things by Bren. And today I am with Robert Lyons. He is doing something very unique. We're not going to really talk about incarceration today, although we might touch on it. He is all about happiness and not hating and trying to help others get in the same boat that he's in with that. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Robert. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what it is you're doing, how you got there, and let's just hear what you got to say.
Absolutely. Thank you. My name is Robert Lyons. Most people know me as Rob Lyons. But anyway, Project 400, one at a time. And the way I came up with that concept was because of my life. I went through most of my life. I seemed pretty happy. I thought I was pretty happy. And then I wasn't really thinking about the stress or wasn't thinking about life itself. So basically, I got to a point where I was like really getting fed up. I started taking a deeper look at my life, my ownership, what was I doing right, maybe wrong. I figured some things out. I started really releasing a lot of things like, thoughts and what have you that would play that maybe would keep me from going to the next level. I figured some things out. I really figured them out. And that's where Project 400, my information is actually going to be going through Project 400 because it's about that one individual, like my personal coaching that I do right now, one at a time. To me, that's everything.
When you say personal coaching and one person at a time, what type of people are you really primarily dealing with?
A lot of it has to do with the individuals that are on the streets. That's a majority. Has to do with drugs. It has to do with past relationships. Relationships, I think, probably more so than any. I believe some of the homelessness and even the drugs is related to, a past relationship maybe we couldn't get over or a loss.
Right.
Personally, that's what I believe.
Do you find that people tend to linger on those thoughts in their past and use it as an excuse or use it to not step forward or say that it has created them to be this way? I'm sure you've heard all kinds of excuses, but
Yeah.
What does it really take to be happy? What are your thoughts on just with yourself? Let's set Project 400 aside. You said you had to make some changes with you before you could do Project 400. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Well, that's that right there. I was so overwhelmed at one point in my life, and it happened multiple times. And that's where the one at a time, because I started looking at some of the things that were bothering me, like bad thoughts or past conversations, relationships, even present ones. And maybe even fearful of the one that may come if the phone rings. I started really thinking about those, figuring out what I could let go. And I got down to really not much of anything. And then I started feeling better because I didn't have all the stress or the worry or the confusion or even relationships.
Right.
I had to let a lot go that I didn't think that I was holding on to them in the first place, but come to find out I didn't even need it. It was, it's been pretty, for me, it's been pretty amazing, and it continues to. Even talking to you right now, that's just one more step closer to my real truth of my life and who I am as a person and what I love to do. I love, giving someone else maybe encouragement or just that one conversation can turn everything around.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. So Project 400, you decided to take it out to the streets.
yes.
Some of your videos with your people and help one person at a time. You said some of them are homeless, some of them are coming out of rehab or in rehab or continuing in between being out of rehab and in rehab. What is your struggle with that? What is the main struggle with Project 400?
The main thing is people seeing a new way of life. I've came in and basically just interrupted life as it was. And I've had a lot go on out here, where I'm at with an offense or, this or that, it's just so many different things that can happen. But that's the big thing right there. And we have got past that point of it. It took much longer than I thought it would to actually do it, because it's something I've felt for a long time, but I couldn't demonstrate it because there's just so many things. I'm actually, we're talking about the mind, we're talking about the heart, we're talking about,
It's a lot to change.
it's a lot. And to me, life is simple, but very complex. I'm a very simple person, so I just, it doesn't take a lot from me.
Mm-hmm. But showing that way to somebody else, I think our society says you have to have a certain job, you have to live in a certain neighborhood, you have to drive a certain car to be accepted or to be considered successful, or you need these things to be happy. And in reality, that is simply not true. And I like to tell people that perception is reality, but it's not always true. And that's something I struggled for a long time in my own life, is not being who somebody else wants me to be, but be who I want to be. And that's from parents to children, for spouse, anybody that's got an influence on your life. You still need to become you, and you need to do you, and do it the right way, of course. But you're coaching people to try to do that. So what do you do when you come across somebody that's homeless in the streets, that's maybe been in and out of rehab, that's probably miserable? And they might not be, they might like where they're at. But at the same time, where do you start with somebody like that?
Each of them's different. The big thing is getting to know someone. That's everything. It wouldn't matter if you're homeless or rich. If you don't know someone, how would you even know to talk to them? As far as, yeah.
You develop a friendship first.
Yeah. And we're actually in the process of now getting everything together as far as Project 400. Like, I've been doing a lot of things behind the scenes. I've got a lot of people that are already involved. But officially launching, it's going to be coming soon, where individuals can get involved. The biggest thing is you've got to sign up before we can do anything. Then we can go, either here locally, or we'll be doing it online as far as interviews, kind of like what we're doing here. Just to get a feel of what's going on, because I'm really looking for, right now, is visionaries. I'm looking for thought leaders. I'm looking for coaches. I'm looking for individuals that really already have it, or they know they've got something and they want to do something to impact this world, because I'm really wanting to go. This is a much different level than even what I wanted.
Right.
There's a bigger picture here, because I want to be able to have a corporation in the billions that is here to help improve life, and whatever that may be.
What made you decide that you needed to change your life?
I wanted long-term happiness, not short-term. And I was always working on short-term. I'd always get satisfied in the moment, or the day, or the week, but never ever why can't I just wake up and be happy? Why do I have to go try to be happy?
Yeah, it's not something you try to be. You either are or you aren't.
Right. And I knew that I was a happy person, but I didn't truly understand what I had to do to actually do it. And I figured that out for myself. I'm extremely happy. I understand, the process, I could say, for myself. And I'm okay.
What changes did you make? What was your very first change with yourself?
What's that?
What was your very first change you made with yourself?
I don't remember the very first change. Okay. Not really. I always seemed like I was trying to improve, but it wasn't. I didn't think about the stress while I was improving. So probably the first thing I did do was start looking at my stress. Actually.
Did you start with other
because
things?
Stress? Yeah, I mean, stress is huge for me. Happiness is big, but I think the stress was bigger than the happiness. So I really started working on both ends of it. So every time I would do something stressful, I would make sure that I did something that would make me happy and start feeding, I started really thinking about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I met Robert at a speaking event in Kansas City that he came to, Black Belt Speakers with Dr. Ruben West. And I have seen a change in you since then. It's probably been about a year and a half, maybe. Just watching you on Facebook and stuff, getting to know you that way. And he's a real estate agent. He's done real estate for many years. His father has done that. And for those of you who are in a commission-based job, there is a lot of stress. You got bills to pay, you don't know if that check's coming. And so when he talks about stress and his job, he really means it. So there's a lot that goes on with the type of job that you have. And you're still doing real estate, of course.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If the job is that stressful, would you recommend that somebody change careers?
I think it really depends on the person. You know what I mean? You got to wait. It seems like you have to weigh that out in that conversation, and I don't recommend anybody doing anything that they don't really enjoy it. You got to make changes if that's the case, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
So,
Now, how is Project 400 getting funded?
right now, we are doing it. I actually have where we do daily projects. So basically, someone can call me. They'll have us come out and do whatever, and then a percentage of that will actually go back to the company. And of course, the percentage of whoever went and did the job can do that. That's one way we've got a revenue stream. We have some other ways that we're actually working on too, but the daily projects is a big one.
Good. So you're
That's
getting
my
out in
main
the community and
focus.
actually helping do things with
Yes,
projects. Mm-hmm.
yes. Well, and on top of that, the money that is generated on the job is actually going to stay some of it's going to stay in the community too, because we're going to be doing cleanup. I've got some other things we're working. I mean, I've got so many different things that are connecting with Project 400. This is why we're in the process of connecting with other individuals so we can connect all what I'm thinking together.
Okay.
And also what they have in their ideals, because when you say one at a time, the individual, depending on the situation, we either have a need or want or something that we do have to offer this world that actually could be a huge benefit to this world. To think that we could save one individual, or not even save, but maybe take them to that next step so they can be happy. And we just keep doing this over and over and educating and giving the tools and what they may need to go out and do what we're talking about.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's a very important thing that you're doing because people do need help. We do need to reach out if we're in a position that we can help those instead of just stepping over them as we're walking down the sidewalk or stepping on them or putting them down, or a lot of people like to put others down to make themselves feel better. And that's not a good place to be. It's not a good place for you to be. And it's definitely not a good place for the person that you're stepping on, over, or talking about to be. So I'm glad you're doing it.
Yeah. Well, another big thing is it's not just at that level either. My level with Project 400 has to do with the individual that we don't know is a paycheck behind from losing their house or their car, or their car broke down and they don't have that funding. Because my thing is Project 400, it's a center, it's a hub so people can put information or get information.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's going to be a new way to connect in that level of being, that way. We really got to think about the whole picture. It's like anybody that lives in my home, I'm going to be checking on a regular basis. I'm not, you
So do
just
you have
never know what
people living with you?
I live with my father and I
Uh-huh.
live with my oldest son.
Okay.
Right now, and I've been living with my father for quite a while. He's up in age, and he's got a little bit of health problems that I help him with.
That's good.
So, but I'm very thankful to be able to spend time with him, me and my son. That's a beautiful thing, and we have a really tight little group right there. It's pretty amazing.
And they
Yeah.
support what you're doing?
Oh, absolutely.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
They don't know the details of it, but not too many people know the complete detail, but
If
it's,
people want to get a hold of you and talk to you about this, how would they do that?
probably just the best way is through Facebook for
Okay.
right now, Messenger. We're going to have a lot of information coming, website, everything's getting ready to be launched. I had to get a couple more things worked out. I got some more things really freeing up for me, the stress part of it. So I'm not going to have very much stress anymore for a while,
Okay.
or, at least slowed down, I should say. But yeah, Facebook.
Robert is, this thing that he's doing is fairly new, this Project 400, and he has made changes in his life that are for the better, not necessarily about money or income or status, but about happiness. And he's trying to instill that in others. And happiness is something that only you can do for yourself. It's not something anybody else can do for you. Somebody might be able to coach it to you, try to help you realize where your priorities are, make the necessary changes to achieve that happiness. But trust me, when you get there, it is so worth it. And it
Yes.
doesn't matter what walk of life you are, happiness is a gift from God. It truly
Mhm.
is. It's a blessing. So with that, and Robert, don't hang up because I'm going to talk to you after we get done recording. If you would like to get a hold of Robert, if you want to help, if you want to donate, if you just need some advice on possibly starting something like this in your area, look him up on Facebook. That's Robert Lyons. And he is more than happy to visit with you. Now it's Lyons, not Lions. So Robert Lyons with
Yes.
a Y. So thank you very much for coming on the show and sharing your story. And he's also going to be in Kansas City in August, sharing a story at a convention that's going to be held here called, what is it called? It's about becoming the best you can be, overcoming challenges. And this is definitely something that fits into that, because a challenge can be big, it can be small, but it tends to stop you in your tracks. So with that being said, thank you very much, Robert, and stay on. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.